As we get to the first chance for me to say this in 2025, the ones.
The ones.
Let's project the players that will be top at their position in week one. Who's your quarterback, right?
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts just so on Friday I can sit here and be pretty confident. I'll have a 50-50 chance of at least being correct after the first game on Thursday. Again, this is one of the things that we go through with Jalen Hurts every season is that people just continue to disrespect him. I was guilty of this for a while where you just feel like, he can't run for 15 touchdowns every season. Can he? No, he absolutely can. Probably absolutely will. I think this is one of the areas where Kenny Clark will make a huge difference for the Dallas Cowboys. But in week one, with the Philadelphia Eagles unveiling their banner against the dreaded Dallas Cowboys, I just believe that Jalen Hurts is going to have a monster game.
Oh, Jalen Hurts can have a monster game. If there's another guy, though, that can run for 15 touchdowns, it's probably Josh Allen because he's been Buffalo's goal line back since the day he was drafted. Last year, 4 overall QB1 finishes, 10 weeks as a top 7 fantasy quarterback last year. And I look at this game, I expect it to be high scoring. I expect both teams to go back and forth. But while the Ravens can win without Lamar Jackson playing at his peak, I don't know that the Bills can win without Josh Allen being at his absolute best. So I think he comes out firing in week one, and I think he's your QB1.
Yeah, 2 really good quarterback options in that game. Only probably one going to be playing in the Saints-Cardinals game, and that's Kyler Murray. And as I looked for a chance to confirm my priors on this, I wanted to see his historical success against Brandon Staley. It wasn't very good, but you will note that Brandon Staley on that Rams defense had one of the best players of all time. And he's not walking through the Superdome door. And there's a lot of New Orleans Saints that are not walking through as well. I think Kyler gets in on the ground and has a decent day through the air. And this isn't just like the old Kingsbury cliff projecting the Cardinals to eventually fall off.
Right.
Kyler is a better quarterback at the start of the season. So those are our ones at QB. Let's go to the running back position, right?
I'm going to go with Bucky Irving in this one. Last season, one of the dynamic rookies that we are on board with. We'll continue it into this season, and now he's going up against the Atlanta Falcons, a team that can be pretty generous against opposing running backs, especially for running backs who can catch the ball out of the backfield. Last season, in his last game against the Falcons, Bucky had 7 receptions in that contest against the Falcons. The Falcons allowed the most receptions to running backs in 2024. They did make some improvements on the defense. You don't necessarily want to say that, nobody improves or anything like that, but I have a really great feeling about Bucky Irving and really do believe that he's going to have not only a breakout season, but a breakout that happens in week one against the Atlanta Falcons.
So while I don't think Saquon Barkley's follow-up to last year is going to be quite as great, I do think he'll have some spike weeks. I think this can be one of them. Regardless of what Jerry Jones is saying, I'm not sure that Kenny Clark is the piece to solve what was one of the worst run defenses in the league last year. I think this Eagles offense is going to get out quickly, and I think especially in the second half, I think game script is going to favor Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. I think we'll see them run a lot. Plus, as you mentioned, Rank, they're unfurling the banner. It's ring night. It's a whole celebration to start the season. Remember last year, they had to start the season overseas. I do think that we're going to see Saquon get off to a quick start this year.
Another Kenny Clark mentioned on the show today. We're talking about more Kenny Clark because he played for the Green Bay Packers last year. And in the first game against the Packers, Jahmyr Gibbs had 5.9 yards per carry in week one of 2024. Jahmyr Gibbs had 17 fantasy points on just 15 touches. I think his touches go up this year. And I think Jahmyr Gibbs has a great season. And I think he starts that great season here in week one against the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. From there, we go to the wide receiver one. It will be
Travis Hunter.
Wow.
You know what? The last time that we had a wide receiver that was this highly anticipated in the NFL, I think it was Randy Moss back in 1998. And I remember having Randy Moss on my fantasy team. I remember watching the week one game. I believe it was against the Buccaneers. I do remember being at the Imperial Palace watching this game, popping off to a bunch of old heads being like, oh, this Randy Moss is incredible. Everybody was dismissive. They're like, no, that guy, he played at Marshall. He's not going to be good. Similarly, I think that everybody is really looking forward to seeing what Travis Hunter will do in week one. And before we get a true chance to see what Liam Cohen has in store, how defenses will adjust to him and stuff like that, this is a perfect opportunity for him to go out there, have a Moss-like performance. I think Moss had close to 100 yards. I know he had 2 receiving touchdowns in that game. I think Travis Hunter comes out ablazing in this first game against the Carolina Panthers.
as somebody who drafted a lot of Travis Hunter, I would love to see it. I'm going to go a lot more chalky, though, and give you CeeDee Lamb. Remember all those things I just said a few moments ago about Saquon Barkley and game script and the Eagles running the football a lot? Well, sort of apply the opposite of that to the Dallas Cowboys. We anticipate now that they're going to have to throw the football a lot. They were already throwing it a lot. They're going to have to throw it even more. So I do see a scenario where you see the Cowboys playing from behind in the second half. It's going to be Dak having to get the ball out a lot. We know CeeDee's already a target monster. I think in week one, they especially showcased that ability in an effort to try and stay close with the Eagles.
Well, if CeeDee Lamb is chalky, Marcus, I will take the entire bottom of the board where the chalk remnants of Lab lived for centuries and take Jamar Chase being the wide receiver one against a Browns team where he had touchdowns in both games, and the Cleveland Browns in 2024 gave up more yards per target to wide receivers than any other team. This coming into a 2025 season where they're already dealing with injuries in the secondary. So Chase is my wide receiver one.